Hi, I'm Chris from CodeReviewVideos.com, and in this video I want to cover a quick way of searching your command line history. So you may be aware of the command history on Linux, also works on Mac, maybe it works on Windows, I honestly don't know. You can see all the different commands that you've previously typed into your terminal. Now you may be able to see here at the very bottom you can see history and then history grep simple. The amusing story as to why I've had to re-record this video, it's because the command that I wanted to show you, which uses the keyboard shortcut Control and R, was also my recording hotkey, and I couldn't figure out what the heck was happening. It kept just not working, but it was also creating a new video every time in the background. So yeah, I don't normally record on Linux, but yeah, interesting one all the same. So I've got a project here in the background. I've just recorded a video for it. It's this test watcher example. You may have watched it. And the idea is that as part of this project, there was like quite this long-winded command that we were having to type in, docker compose exec php vendor blah blah blah. And one way of getting around this was to use a makefile. So we put this into a makefile, and then we only needed to remember this shorter command, which in our case was just like make run tests, which was fine. And using a makefile kind of also solves the problem that I find I need this command most for. So if you open up an existing project, typically one that either you're coming into a team for the first time, or it's maybe something that you worked on ages ago, and you know that there's some sort of weird command that you had to run, and maybe it was specific to that project and you can't remember it, but you're like, oh, I know that I've typed that in before and it must be in my history. So the kind of naive way is to, type history and start scrolling back through and trying to find it. But you can see there are like 10,000 lines in there. No one wants to spend time doing that. So another alternative to that, say we knew that the word simple was in there. We can see that one way to do that would have been to use history and then pipe the output of history through the command grep, and maybe look just for any commands that had the word simple in there, and we could run that and we could see all these different lines that had the word simple in there somewhere. And one quick little tip is, say we wanted to run one of these, or at least bring the command back to active, we didn't need to copy the whole thing out, drag it out with the mouse or whatever, and then take a copy of it. We could use the bang, and then in this case maybe line 10,052, and we hit that and it brings it back into the command that we could run. That's quite useful, but a sort of a better way of doing this, in my opinion, and the way that I tend to do this now, is to hit Control and R, and this works on Linux and Mac, and you can see we get this back I search. You might also see it called reverse I search. So it means reverse incremental search, and what it's going to do is it's going to step through the history for you. So if we know that we was looking for something called simple, then it's going to find the most recent command that had the word simple in it. In this case, it looks like we've got a very specific match, which was the last command. But say that we know that it's not that command, we can just hit Control and R again and step through, and we can step through all of the different variations that we saw when we ran that history through the grep command. So it's really nice. If you find the one that you want, then just hit return, obviously. If you don't find any that you like, then just Control and C to get out of there. Honestly, I use this every day. Everyone who I've ever shown this to has been like, wow, that is such a time saver. So if you already knew about it, cool. But if you didn't, then hopefully you've learned something here.